I send you very special greetings all the way from Africa, right from the paradise city of Calabar, Nigeria. This is the World Speech Day. A little girl once said, our deepest fear is not that we are incapable or inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Sometimes we ask ourselves, who am I to be this talented, brilliant, intelligent, beautiful, gorgeous, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? We were made to make manifest the glory of God which is within us. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously but expressly give other people the permission to do the same. The candle that lights another candle does not lose its fire. It becomes a source of light. And on this note, I want to say very special, warm greetings to the founder of the World Speech Day, talking about the one and only Simon Gibson. You see, what started as an idea some 7 years ago have found expression in over 100 countries of the world. The World Speech Day have been staged in over 100 countries because of that candle that this man decided to light up in the world. And that is how the World Speech Day has gotten to where we are right now. My name is Dejudge Glasgow. I am the official licensee of the World Speech Day, Calabar, Nigeria. The World Speech Day is about celebrating ideas that will eventually transform society and bring about a change in our world through the very beautiful act of public speaking. And my dream is to be the world's most sought after public speaker. And if you ask me, I'm chasing that dream because I'm up here sharing my voice and lending my voice to causing a change in society and causing a change in our community and ultimately creating a better world. This is dream come true. There is nothing a man sets his mind and his heart to achieve that he cannot achieve, except he makes himself subject to impossibilities. The World Speech Day have transcended over 5 seasons right in the city of Calabar, and this is our 5th season, and it has been phenomenal. You should know that the World Speech Day this year has a theme, a new harmony. Everything rises and falls on the subject of leadership. If we have to create a new harmony in our society, we should understand that it rises and falls on leadership. So in the context of this year's World Speech Day, I'll be sharing my thoughts with a caption, the audacity to create a new harmony. The audacity to create a new harmony. We cannot talk about creating a new harmony without talking about creating great nations. We cannot talk about creating great nations without talking about creating great institutions. We cannot talk about creating great institutions without talking about the subject of leadership. And in this context, leadership is not about position. Leadership is about your influence. The world is waiting for men that will exert leadership in every sphere, because everything rises on that subject. Everything walks around the subject of leadership. The world has come this far because men at one point had made up their mind to take up the lead. From the Gettysburg speech of Abraham Lincoln to the I Have a Dream speech of Martin Luther King Jr. to the Yes We Can speech of Barack Obama, speeches have been used as an instrument of change. In times of despair, in times of hopelessness and frustration, men spoke up. In the powers they could gather at the time, they raised their voices and contributed to our world because they rested on the altar of taking the lead. May I just tell you quickly that leadership is not about position. It's about your influence. In the liberation struggle in the United States of America, a voice rose in the name of Martin Luther King Jr. and he said, I have a dream that one day we will live in a nation where my 4 little children will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. That leader's voice spread through ages. And in 2008, a man by the name Barack Obama, for the first time, a black man sat in the White House because someone could dream through, someone could speak through, someone could raise his voice. Let this liberation struggle on every sphere on the streets of America. And one of those fine days, the man Martin Luther King Jr. During the liberation struggle, one of those times in one of his speeches talked about when the heat of the struggle was up, and he one time was stabbed by, in his own words, a demented black woman. And you see, he was rushed to the hospital, and news came out the other day that if he had much as sneezed, he would have died. And then when he was sitting up in the hospital, messages were coming in from everywhere. He was receiving these very beautiful messages from everywhere around the world. But one stood out for him. One struck him. It was a message from a little girl. She was about 9 years. She was in the ninth grade at the time. And she had sent a message. What was profound about this message was the fact that she was white and she was young. And she had sent a letter to him, and she said, "We heard of all your sufferings. We heard about the whole struggles. But I wrote to tell you, Martin Luther King Jr., to say thank you for not sneezing." That goes to tell us one thing. It is not about race or color. It's about the mind of a people. If we have to build a new harmony in our world, we must understand that we need more than ourselves. In the words of Mother Teresa, she said, "You can do what I cannot do. I can do what you cannot do. Together, we can do great things." And that is what harmonizes the world. We must understand that the world must have to change if good men must wake up to speak. In the words of Martin Luther King Jr., he said, "Evil has triumphed over good." Because a lot of good people have failed to speak up. Hence the World Speech Day. Our voices must be heard on the streets. Our voices must be heard from our pulpits to our marketplaces. Our voices must be heard in decision making. Our voices must be heard in policy making. We must raise our voices at every point to advocate for the world we want to see. Like I told you, it's born on the bedrock of leadership. It's the audacity to build, to create a new harmony. We need to harmonize the world, and we cannot play ignorant of the fact that things are happening around the world. We cannot keep deaf ears to the gunshots and the bombs everywhere in the world. But we must make bold to say that we don't need to put in more efforts to guns and bombs. We cannot do that. We